2-1. It is Ryung versus Lucky here for day 3, match 10, game 1, starting on Antigua Shipyard. We've got our red Terran, Ryung spawning in the southeast position, and I think this is going to make for some very interesting positions here in this matchup. And here we go over on the east side. It is from FXO, Lucky, our blue Zerg. Give it up.
Ryung looks pretty sharp right now. I mean, look at that eyes on the screen. He's determined. And Ryung, you can pretty much safely say that he's the favorite coming into this match for sure. But though, in IPL 3, we have seen some upsets. We've seen Inori beat MC, which is probably the biggest upset so far.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we're going to continue to see upsets too. I don't think you can have these types of competitions without expecting these players to sort of rise to the top and deliver some of the best games that they've ever played. It's sort of already been witnessed throughout the many amazing games that we've seen here. In fact, I'd just like to use the opportunity to give a shout out to HD and Pain User and Cat's Pajamas and Doa for bringing you guys coverage and commentary this entire day and throughout the weekend as well. And so let's talk a little bit about the positions, Apollo, because this is often one of those sort of, you know, it can be an annoying position here as the Zerg player where you've got an area of your base that can potentially be exposed here from the low ground. I've seen, unfortunately, players put buildings in areas where you wouldn't think that they were going to get assaulted, and suddenly a major building goes down, and Zerg player finds himself in a horrible position at the start of the game. But what do you think about these positions, sort of the Terran attacking into the Zerg here?
And that's exactly a really good point you brought up there, is that Ryung's style is very economy focused. He loves to get fast third bases. You know, the recent metagame of Terran was always at stim at 10 minutes mark. When Siege is ready, you go at 10 minutes. Ryung is a player that likes to take a third base instead of that attack and then come with a later timing attack, you know, roughly 14, 15 minutes instead. And he's gonna be enabled to take this third base, which is really, really close to the main base of Lucky here. And basically, he's gonna be able to bunny hop into the main base of Lucky, and that may be difficult. We've seen Terran players in the GSL, even in IPL 3 today, that have been using that so wisely, units on the low ground, units in the high ground, and it is difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that he's going to be very happy to see the actual arrangements that he's got here on this map. He is well aware of where his opponent has spawned. We've got the spawning pool about ready to come up. And, of course, we're going to have a bunker go down here at the front. One drone is pulled, and are we going to have more coming down for the party?
Yeah, we'll have a Reaper coming down very, very shortly. He has a tech lab onto it. Reaper will come down, and look at this. Lucky is like, son, you're not going to barracks, what are you doing? So he's not even going to pull anything down, though. He has to be careful, because if that bunker actually goes up, the Marine goes in, and a Reaper follow-up, that's a lot more difficult than another Marine.
Yeah, I mean, he can just keep on, I mean, there aren't going to be any Marines. He might just swing some Lings around and try to kill some counterattacks. There we have the first two out, but I'm surprised, well, we didn't see a spine crawl. Here we go. He's going to move around. There is the one SCV there. No Zerglings are lost, so that should be able to get rid of the Marines. We'll see if there's a reaction, but here's the Reaper. The Lings are going to be out of the base, and so even though he's like, yeah, I'll get rid of any reinforcements. Oh, the Queen stops the Reaper, and he's going for it.
Oh, he needs to repair, didn't quite get the repair on, but the Reaper will come in to get some more kills with this Marine.
Wow, he handled that perfectly, and he can jump up and down this cliffs as much as he wants, but those slow Lings say not having it, get out of here, and Lucky holds it off surprisingly well. I got a little nervous for him when he just pulled the one drone down. I was like, you know what, build the bunker, I don't care.
Yeah, Ryung got a little bit unlucky. Decided to go into the main, and the Queen popped out just at that time. And it's just like, oh, I shouldn't have gone into the main. I should have gone straight for the bunker, which would have been a lot more beneficial for him. And meanwhile, we have 3 barracks actually going down behind this. And he is expanding as well. And this is interesting because usually you see players go directly for a factory and switch it up with the tech lab on the barracks on the ramp so you can get tanks out ASAP. In case you do lose to a Ling, Baneling bust or anything like that. And looking in the production tab, we have 10 Lings out and a Baneling there straight away too. So he realizes the fact that, oh, you didn't switch up the barracks, you didn't put a factory there, which means, and he's just seen the second gas as well, which means with the Overlord, he's only just seen the second gas been put down. So he knows that a factory and siege tanks are not really close. So he could actually try and bust this down, and there's nothing really here apart from combat shields in these Marines.
Bunch of Marines going to come across this SCV, quickly take it out, and I mean, you're right. Look at down here. We are going to have somewhat of a wall start to go up here for Ryung over on the side. He's just got the one bunker with the Reaper inside, and I don't think that he's ready to commit quite yet. That Baneling Nest is going to be finished up, and still an attack could be risky.
I think Ryung's in so much trouble right now, DJ Wheat. I really do. Look at how many Lings have been made. The Baneling Nest is ready. He has a lot of gas as well to morph Banelings. He's gone for the reactor onto the factory. I don't even think he suspects this is going to happen. And Ryung could be in a lot of trouble here. I mean, he's keeping all his units in the main base, which is his kind of saving grace here. But his natural, the SCVs are going to die. He's going to have to lift up the command center. Oh, this is going to be tough.
Yep, and here they go, waddling into up the ramp into the main base. And here come the Lings from the back. He's going to make it right in. Is he going to go ahead and impact? And he actually impacts directly onto the bunker. Bunker goes down. Banelings tonight, we're not done yet. And oh, Stim goes down. It won't happen there. And looked like, I'm not sure why that mule was dropped there. But I mean, was he going to make his way in here? Marines will hold it off.
And 2 supply depots did go down, so he's relatively supply blocked right now, 44 out of 46, but he has a lot of Marines. He's managing to deal with it. One Baneling, is it going to get sniped? Oh, it's going to go in. Oh, SCV does it. He's like, I got this. I'll sacrifice my life.
He did. And these Marines creating a nice little choke here. I mean, obviously, we see Ryung have a great vision of what's going on, but this does not have a whole lot of hit points, so it'll be an easy takedown, and there it is. He's going in. He just wants to get rid of these Marines. He only takes out one with the remainder of those Banelings, and I don't think there's enough Marines here getting into the corner. Oh, the Hellions come out. Is that going to be enough to help out? We've got supply depots going down everywhere. This one's about to burn down. More Banelings are popping in. He target fires those down, but there's just not enough Marines left over.
Oh, more Banelings are being morphed. The Hellions are going to really help it. Now the Medivac's out, I think this is going to stop. So, oh yeah, definitely. He's droning up behind this. And oh, actually, that was a pretty big hit there. 2 Banelings as well. It's not over yet.
And more SCVs going down, and he's sacrificed a lot of SCVs. A ton of Hellions are coming out, trying to switch his production up at the same time, but units causing the starport to not be able to land right away, and he does hold it, but this second base has been it's been worthless here, and he's got now a spine crawl at the front, just in case there would be some sort of an immediate counterattack. We've got a lot of droning behind this as well, and I think that he's going to be content leaving it where where it's at. I think he did a lot of damage and all that.
He's at 45 drones now, or just about to be 45 drones. He's got his layers, taking all his gases. Lucky's actually in a fantastic position. He's got Banelings morphing in the main base, just ready for this drop. And if Ryung doesn't actually react to this, he's automatically unloaded them. He may lose them all here.
Uh-oh, and there's the quick surround. He wants to try to get him up. Baneling gonna sneak in there. He has one to... No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, he loses 2 out of the 4. That's really bad. He doesn't do anything. And the layer's about to finish. He's going to be able to throw down a spy very, very shortly. And basically, Ryung's just, 30 seconds, 1 minute behind Lucky.
And Evo Chamber going down. Meanwhile, we're going to have them dropped. We're going to have the Hellions dropped on the outside, not even going to make his way in, and he wouldn't want to do that anyway. The Spinecrawler was burrowing at that point, and he's moving forward with a bunch of Marines. Stim is going to finish. Keep in mind that Tech Lab went down, so Ryung actually planned to have Stim a long time ago. A couple of medevacs, good amount of energy on there. Up, Ling's running right past that. Don't care. Will he have any defense up here? Yes, he's got Banelings, and as long as he gets a good strike, he's going to be okay. Meanwhile, Lings are going to go on in. There's a tank at the top, but not a whole lot. SCVs not even rallied. They are going to go. No, he's going to go ahead and attack the force. Meanwhile, we've got Ryung coming in through the front. He's got to get a good hit here. No Baneling speed. And Stim might...
he's going to go behind the Marines. Oh, he does pick up. Don't worry, DJ.
That was a smart pickup. And, I mean, Baneling speed is moments away. He's going to drop inside the main now. And he's behind the smoke. He's got to target fire. Those Banelings cannot let even one of them connect. And 4 do go down. And he walked into that attack with 16 Marines. He flies out with only 8.
And Ryung hasn't even waypointed his natural still. I mean, he's under a lot of pressure, that's understandably, but he's making mistakes that shouldn't be happening right now. And he's doing great amounts of pressure, forcing a lot of bailings out. So the Mutalisk count is really, really low. It's only 5 in production right now. And there's no third base, but 38 SCVs versus 50, and yeah, there is a drop coming into the main.
Actually, that's
really good.
Yeah, I mean, they took out the 2 Marines. If there was not Ling follow-ups, that would have been the greatest drop ever. But those 2 Banelings, a little premature on that one. They got excited, took out those Marines, but Ling's come on in to clean that up. Now we've got the drone heading on over, and there is 1 Marine on the outside from Ryung. Just watching for that. Obviously not going to take down the hatchery, but he knows that the 3rd is going down. That's going to probably set off some sort of alarm. He realizes that already he's behind. What's he going to do to catch up?
Yeah, well, he is behind. He's got a 3rd command center, which is really good for him right now in the bottom right. He's got an orbital command on it as well. But the thing is, he has to defend against these Mutalisks. If he loses tanks weakly like this, he's going to lose the tank. Yeah, he does. And he can't do that. But to be honest, Ryung started coming back into the game when he pushed out really early on with Marines and Medivacs. He stopped the Mutalisk production getting out of control. He put pressure back onto Lucky, which was really nice. And the supply count, 98 to 94. The SCV count, 57 drones to 46 SCVs. It's not too bad. So he's doing a good job. There is a drop going on the left-hand side now towards that back 3rd base of Lucky. And now we just have to have really, really clutch harassment from Lucky.
Assuming that that drop is going to try to coincide with the creation of this 3rd base, or with the completion of the 3rd base. Meanwhile, a lot of Lings and a few Banelings here in between these 2 maps, and he's going to poke forward. I like this with the Banelings. There wasn't a huge force of Marines out here earlier, and that could have been a more beneficial attack, but he's just now getting around to the natural. And I'm not sure what his plans are. There we do see some burrowed Banelings right outside, and that's a great little path that's walked often. And look at this as the orbital command tries to fly over to secure the 3rd. The Mutalisks are going to have none of that, and they will try to relentlessly harass that and not let it go down.
And look,
this I love.
Oh, he's not focusing on this drop. It could do so much damage here.
He's going to drop off and immediately go after the gas. Mutas coming in, and there's only 4 Mutas there. He can't fight with those 4 Mutas. Loses 1, almost dying, and there is the pickup. The rest of the Mutas come in, save the day, and the medevac goes down.
And as you were saying, DJ Wheat, the gold base, yeah, it is really smart to take this gold base. You're going to get a lot of income from it. And meanwhile, the 3rd base has been taken from him. But look, there's 2 Banelings in there, and I don't think he knows about it.
My
and
God.
the turret is going to finish, so he will find about it. But
my God!
He baits!
Perfect!
Lucky, you are owning Slayers players with 2 borrowed Banelings every game.
It's so smart. I mean, the investment was absolutely nothing, and sure, it might get scanned, but again, like, Terrans are just not in the habit. The metagame is not necessarily having them scan their mineral lines because there could be 2 Banelings there. And it's going to change. I mean, we've seen this happen time and time again, but it's going to be pretty soon when Terrans are going to have to, okay, let me scan my base because I want to put down another command center. And I think that's a great thing, especially if he can get in. And there's another burrow right there just outside. So he's going to put that on the mind of his opponent, and Ryung's going to have to deal with that all game long.
I know, this is forcing Ryung to, look, he's saying, dude, build a Raven, okay? I mean, that's the only way he can deal with it. You can't use scans over and over. Lucky actually forced Boxer from main to the other side of the map to scan like 5 times in a row, and there were no Banelings there. He was just scared about it, and that is so incost effective. And right now, Ryung's force is so small because of that. He's only at 40 Marines. That should have been a lot higher. And Lucky's economy is going out of control. 4th base up on that gold base. 5th base is up as well. And there is another drop coming. And I think 1 Ling is going to spot it here.
Oh, does he spot it over on the side? It goes, it flashed up on his screen, but he would literally have to be watching it 100%. We do see Ling's heading on back. I'm not sure if he did see it or not. But I mean, more importantly, this gold base, I think, is basically the winning base for Lucky right here. I mean, unless a bad engagement actually happens, it's typically a situation where the Terran is going to have enough tanks and enough Hellions and enough Marines, and there is the drop up in the northeast. and it looks like a drop inside the main. Both of them sort of getting thwarted, except for the one up here in, the northwest. It's going to force a cancellation. Actually, there wasn't a cancellation. It's over and done with. So got another drop in the main. It just seems like Ryung wants to get nasty.
He does, but there's a lot of Bailings here. All the Lings are they're not going to deal with the drop at the top left. They are going to come back to recollect. And the amount of Marines, because they've been spread about with drops so much, there actually isn't that many in the main army. So that's going to make these Lings and Bailings just cruise through everything. And the Mulas are going to do a lot more damage as well. He's coming in to harass this third base, which isn't really well protected. There's only 2 turrets here, and these Mulas are going to be able to one-snipe these, especially with +2 finishing up.
Yep, and they're going to move in no problem. Actually, cannot get that second one. It's going to have to get on repair. And moving back, and we talked about how the Terran usually has the advantage of, using this position and fire into the main of the Zerg, but I mean, Apollo, this has been a completely different way to see Zerg approach this with that heavy pressure early on. It gave him map control, and then with that gold base down, I feel like Ryung has to get into position where he control this tower right here. If he puts a couple of tanks up here and there's nothing, I mean, he can siege this to oblivion and deny it completely, but the Mutas are keeping that from happening. There's another drop moving in. It is spotted.
Bailing's waiting for it though, so if it's on automatic unload, this could be pretty damaging. 1, 2, or the third one actually explodes at the same time, so this is going to work out rather well for Ryung, but the flock is coming.
There's the flock, quickly takes care of that, no problem, but a couple of Banelings there do stop that. It could have been a lot more worse, and here we do see Ryung now moving up. He knows about the gold, he's put the scan down, and again, using that high ground vision could be big here, but the army, the counterattack, it's not even gonna matter.
The Banelings!
The Banelings moving in position. There's no siege on the tanks there. They finally siege up in the back. A lot of those Marines do go down. They're spread out a ton. Lings come in through the back.
As well. I don't think he knows about it.
Oh, he doesn't. He's just gonna probably try to get all of them over there. He can use his Banelings to bait.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh! And again,
my
at this point, there's only a few Marines. There's a Thor, there's a few tanks.
98 Lings in production right now. That is a lot about to come out, and there are hardly any Marines left. Oh my god, Lucky does it again.
There are so many tanks here, but the ground forces are just simply not enough. Now we see Ryung moving in. The Mutants are going to come back over. They want to shut down this third base. A lot of Marines do answer there, but over here we have a ton more Banelings being morphed. 98 Zerglings were coming. Well, half of those will now be Banelings.
Oh my god, he's going to be able to steamroll this army so easy, despite the tank line being really good. He's kept the Mulis alive as well with +2 attack, and very, very shortly we are going to see Ryung gain absolutely steamroll. He's still harassing as well, and the nearest end for Ryung. I can't believe Lucky is doing this again to another Terran player.
And while that gold going down, it could be signified as like a little victory. I think more so the fact that behind this, what's that?
I actually went in there but decided to turn around and lost a lot of units there. And he's going to have to rebuild that. There is a drop on the left-hand side as well, as you've got on your screen.
Yep, drop is going down. There's not a whole lot here, but the Mutas do come in here. What I was really going to say is that with that gold going down, while it was down, it allowed him to get the other 2 bases up, which will be much more difficult for Ryung to actually attack unless he does decide to use drops. But his forces are thinning out, and so it's not really, really have the liberty to be able to do that. Here we have an orbital moving over, and this orbital will not land as we have a force moving in, and this could be bad.
Oh, he's going to be able to save it just about, but it does put it into orange health. Lings are doing a lot of damage as well. They are at 2-1 upgrades now. And the upgrades for the Marines are pretty good too. 3-2 as of yet, but Mueller's coming into the main base as well. And this is where it gets a sticky situation for Terran players as they start to expand to a 4th base. The main base is so naked.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, I think the Terran player says, okay, well, maybe I just need to attack. So we look on over, and is that exactly what they're trying to do? They have dropped into the main, trying to support, of course, with the siege tanks. But the Mutas could probably just continue to have a as they do manage to get picked up there. A couple of Marines do move back. He'll just touch with the Banelings. He's got to be careful with these Mutas, though. He cannot overcommit.
Yeah, he actually took a lot of damage there. And that one Ling, you know, another reason why Borat is so effective as well. One Zergling denying the gold base expansion, and that's not going to go up pretty much ever. He's going to have to build a new command center and a new... Oh, look at all these tanks are starting to move up to the left-hand side now. These bases are mining, but let's have a look at the army. We have 6 Broodlords about to come out as well, and there is no way there are no Ghosts or Vikings. But the thing is, he's going to lose his economy in the top left. That's almost certain now. But will he be able to fight the army at the end of the day that Lucky has?
Oh, and here come the Mutas from the back. One Thor out on its own. He almost engages with Thor number 2, but the Marines will ward him off. And you are right, this is going to be very tough. I do see that we have the burrow on the drones to make it look like it's just gas at that point, but a quick scan will reveal that's not the case. Now, I mean, the question has to be answered is, why didn't the Mutas just go for the production, maybe in fear of a counterattack? But that gold base is going up. There's a scan to take out the Zerg, so it can finally land. What I'm worried about here from Ryung is if he gets too spread out here, I mean, there's no more Marines. These tanks
are not sieged.
They're not sieged, and if the Muta's coming from the back, this is going to be nasty, 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 and it looks like that's exactly what may happen. He took it out here, but what does the Terran do? He is stuck inside his jail. The Broodlord's coming from the right. Here come the Mutas from the left. Everything else going to come in from the top. The tanks are all alone.
Wow, no anti-air. Oh, Ryung's army has just been crushed. He now has a lot of Marines, but Marines alone right now, DJ Wheat, and there are Broodlords, there are an incredible amount of Banelings. There is a drop into the main base of Lucky, but that's not going to do too much, and it's looking really difficult. He still isn't even mining from that gold base.
So many Banelings at this point. They're just doing, you know, they're cleaning up. They're on a control key. They just are A-moving, and look at the amount of Marines here. Marines gonna now move forward, try to get as many of those brutes as they possibly can, but it's all about those Banelings. Only one tank from what I can see, and oh, those Banelings want to engage about as badly as I want to see them engage right now. And I mean, at this point, I think Lucky's got it. He's moving forward with the siege force of his own. The Broodlords are going down. All of these Marines are already hurting. It's just a matter of time before he squeezes the last little ounce of life out of his neck, and they go on to game number 2. This has certainly been a suffocation by the Zerg.
Yeah, and just one single medevac to look after all these, and that's not going to be good. Then the bases on the left, they're actually going back up now as well, so he's going to be able to get his economy back intact in the top left. And this base, actually, is it even spotted, this south base here? I don't think it, oh, okay, it is. One Overlord does see a couple of SCVs mining, so it is spotted, and I wouldn't even be surprised. Oh, well, he actually doesn't even care about that one base. He looks like he's just going to go for the cutthroat.
There's no Vikings. The Marines are there, but they know that the Banelings are aplenty. And they're stimmed up. I mean, these medevacs have been overworked. They've got no energy at all with the combination of units that he's got here. I think that Lucky's just looking for an easy steamroll here. He moves over, kills a bunch of Marines on the reinforced. He's going to siege this tank. It is forced to lift off. SCVs are dying, and the economy is just getting worse and worse here for Ryung.
He's got to be careful. He's trying to look for... I mean, if there is a bad engagement from Lucky, it could definitely turn around here. But as long as he doesn't make a horrendous mistake, he's going to be able to clean this up, especially because there's no anti-Broodlords, and in goes Ryung.
Here it is. No siege on the tanks, and that could be enough. No, he pulls back. He had the opportunity, but the 2 Vikings go down, and that means that the Broodlord's just going to be able to do whatever they want because of the siege. The Marines taking a lot of damage. The Banelings move forward. There's a big chunk taken out, but still not enough. The second big misclick. However, I think that the Mutas could just clean this up right now if they come in. There they are, and the Marines go down. And I don't know what Ryung is left with, to be honest.
Yeah, he's left with 50 supply right now, and that's not enough. I mean, these Broodlords, there's just too many of them. And GG.
GG. Whew. It's kind of an inspiring Zerg match right there.
Round of 16, these games, man. These games, they are pretty good. And Lucky takes a win